It is now 2:25, 2:26 p.m. according to the digital clock on everything that's connected to the internet. The telephone that I got a message on from a debt collector that violated the Fair Debt Collections Practices Act is actually 1 hour off. So I will now hit record, hit the time on the phone, and we can compare the time on the phone to the time at which the computer says this recording was made. Okay? Now, listen.
Tuesday, 1:26 p.m.
The phone says Tuesday, 1:26 p.m. It's actually 2:26 p.m. So I will change that to 2. So that means that debt collector called at 1 something, not 2 something, or not 12 something. Okay, here we go.
Outgoing message 1. Outgoing message 2. Set security code. Set audible message alert. Set date and time. Set incoming message. Set number. Outgoing. Set security. Set audible message. Set date and time. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. 1 p.m. 2 p.m. 27. Tuesday, 2:27 p.m.
Alright, there we go. Now the clock's set to the right time. The fact that the phone time is wrong off an hour doesn't really matter. We could always get the recording from her office because they record it for customer satisfaction, and I don't know who they consider to be the customer, but I'm not satisfied. Once again, this is a democracy. I told them to stop calling me. They can't seem to do that. They are wrong. They are violating fair debt law, Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, and I don't ever remember requesting services from that institution. I do remember being forced to accept services at the hands of officers wearing ninja masks and battle gear. And what they had done is they had stormed my house illegally. And then they turned the thermostat up to sweat me out. But I didn't know they were in the house. I thought a burglar was in the house because they failed to holler who they were. They failed to holler why they were here. They failed to turn any lights on outside. They have failed to use red and blue lights. They failed to use megaphones. And they went around to all of the neighbors and asked the neighbors to turn the lights out and be very quiet so that I would not know they were here. What they did was highly, highly illegal. Now, when they turned the thermostat up to sweat me out, they had to turn it up all the way because it was August 21st, 2012. It was very hot, and there is no risk whatsoever of the furnace going into overdrive. The furnace does the opposite. Today, it is August 20, 2013. And the greatest fear is that the furnace is just going to go out. Because it's so hot, the thermostat won't kick on. The only way to get the thermostat to kick on is to turn on the dishwasher, turn on the shower, and even then, if I'm the only one home, I don't draw enough water to kick the furnace on. If the whole family's home, it'll draw enough water. Then the water cools down, the furnace kicks on. That's not going on. In fact, I'm the only one home for several days now, and I've been checking the furnace to empty the ashes, and the ash bucket is never full. The ash buckets are lucky if they have 3 inches of ashes in them. And I'm more concerned about the furnace going out. But even if it went out, I would not notice because I wouldn't need hot water until the boiler either cooled down or there was no hot water left in it. And I don't use enough water in a shower to empty the boiler. So that the furnace could be out for a day. I wouldn't even notice. Nor would it kick on. So what they did last year is they turned the thermostat up all the way. They thought this was clever. They think they're Delta Force kind of guys. They're not. They tried to sweat me out. I heard people in the house. I dialed 911. By the time the furnace started kicking, I had already been gone. They were in the house for like an hour or more. Who knows what they were searching for? They didn't find anything. I don't have anything. There was nothing to find. They claimed to have been searching for a weapon of mass destruction and planned terrorism and things like that. There's no such thing. In the process, they gave themselves heat exhaustion because they were wearing full battle gear. And it was unbelievably hot, and it's still hot now, with shorts. I can't imagine what it would be like to be in this house all day long with full battle gear. In fact, it would be so hot that I would expect one of my former sergeant majors or colonels would have said, order the men to strip down, because the risk of heat exhaustion would be greater than the risk of getting hit with a bullet. These guys are idiots. They are morons. They are not real special ops. I served in real special ops. I provided intelligence support for missions that involved SEAL, Team 6, Delta Force, 75th Ranger Regiment, the FBI HRT, Hostage Rescue Team, and other operatives from other agencies such as CIA, but there are others. Department of Energy has a combat assault team to recover stolen nuclear material. There's a lot of that stuff out there. There has been a lot of that stuff out there for years. Teams, not nuclear material. These guys in the local SOG, Special Operations Group, have like 2 weeks of special ops training, a whole collection of DVDs, and they do things in a way that's very dangerous. They are going to cause an unnecessary firefight in this small town. They are going to kill people, and the FBI will fail to investigate this until after it happens. Currently, they are actively engaging in catch and release operations. That's when you set a perimeter, you round up everyone inside, and you begin questioning them, searching them, checking for stuff. These tactics are very invasive. Human rights people don't like them overseas. It's imperialistic. It's the way militaries have walked all over villagers from weaker countries throughout history. We do this as Americans. We've done this for a very long time. In fact, our own self-criticism of why we failed in Vietnam is that we didn't do this. If you look at Vietnam footage, you'll see the U.S. soldiers moving through villages, but the villagers are left alone. We came back from Vietnam, we assessed what we did wrong in guerrilla warfare, and we decided we left the villagers alone. We then sent soldiers to Iraq and Afghanistan, and this time we attempted to do it right by our own self-criticism. And this time we decided we would set perimeters, and we will have people rounded up, everyone inside rounded up, and we'll sort through them, and somehow a 19-year-old soldier is going to be able to look into somebody's eyes and tell whether that person is a terrorist or not, whether that person is Taliban, or that person is Al-Qaeda, or that person is from some other revolutionary group, which was absolutely nuts. That's how we ended up with so many people thrown in prisons overseas. That's how we ended up with uprisings against the US MPs regarding the prisons. It was a stupid strategy. It didn't work. The reason US soldiers did not use it in Vietnam is because it would have been impossible to do, and We were already burning down their homes, ancestral homes. The problem was not that we weren't tough enough on the villagers. It's that we were there at all. Right now, you have soldiers coming home from Iraq and Afghanistan. They aren't me. I did not serve in Iraq or Afghanistan. I served in the first Gulf War. I never fired a shot in battle. I was a military intelligence analyst. I'm good at gathering information. I'm good at analyzing it. I'm good at thinking through things. I'm good at writing reports. And I'm very good at giving briefings and writing reports in such a way that it totally gets under the skin of those in charge. I have been successful at forcing the elite special operations of the United States, helicopter pilots from the 160th Special Operations Aviation Unit, back then we called it TF-160, I've forced them to change flight paths by forcing General Brown, then Colonel Brown, and Del Daly to hear things they didn't want to hear. What we have now in the United States is not a whole bunch of veterans coming back who analyze the information. We have veterans coming back who engage in these ridiculous missions to set perimeters, round up every beady-eyed person inside that perimeter and sort them out. Friend, foe, friend, foe. The tactics, the strategy, neither of them worked. It just caused more people throughout the world to resent us. It caused human rights organizations to question what we're doing. And it caused the American people to question what we're doing. And it also caused soldiers who were paying attention to question what we were doing. Now, those veterans are young police officers in Hazleton, Pennsylvania. And they are conducting the same kinds of operations right here. These operations are illegal. You cannot do catch and release. You cannot do surreptitious breach. You cannot black out the community. You have red and blue lights on a police car for a reason, so that everybody knows you're there. You have sirens for a reason, so that everyone knows you're there. Our officers are intentionally conducting what they think are properly conducted and legally approved covert ops. If anything I just said sounds contradictory, it's because covert ops are not legally approved. You can't do them in the United States. Now, if you do research, you'll know that FBI HRT, FBI counterintelligence, engages in such activities. If FBI counterintelligence or FBI HRT gave these knuckleheads, these idiots, permission to storm my home and do a kill operation, then somebody inside the FBI needs to be investigated and go to jail. If Hazleton Special Operations people assumed on their own that they have this kind of authority, that somebody gave them the wink and the nudge to go ahead and do it, then that needs to be investigated. Whoever gave the wink and the nudge needs to be arrested. And the officers themselves need to be ordered to stand down while they undergo investigation for being so stupid as to actually carry out an unlawful mission. Now, if nobody gave them the wink and nudge, and they decided on their own to just do this and figured they'd get away with it, they need to do some jail time because they broke the law and they almost killed me in the process. Now, I've emailed the Deputy Director of the FBI, Sean Joyce. I've emailed Patrick Kelly, who's in charge of the Integrity Office or Bureau or something of the FBI. I've emailed Joseph Noonan, a local FBI agent. I've emailed Philadelphia Complaints, FBI. I've emailed Frank Noonan, Commissioner of the Pennsylvania State Police, the Governor's Office, etc. Several media outlets, including the famous Nancy Grace and others. My concerns are being ignored. I have said to the FBI in email, I want Hazleton Special Operations Group and myself to go through complete SBI, which is a background investigation, special background investigation, single scope background investigation. And I want everyone to be polygraphed about what happened the night they illegally arrested me. And when that's done, I want those officers to stand trial. That's fair. I want that to happen. That must happen. They broke the law, and they must be held accountable for having done so. What they did is illegal. It cannot be done in the United States. And we are currently in an environment where the FBI endorses these types of activities, and it's being endorsed under Homeland Security regulations, and this has to stop. Thank you.